repeat after me. We come together. 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 We come together in the name of love. We come together. 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 We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. Come together. We come together. Come together. We come together in the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. We come together. Come together. We come together in the name of love.
Boy, we do come together in the name of love no matter what. Good morning, everybody. We come together via Zoom. We come together via Facebook. We come together via YouTube. And soon we come together in person. Oh, my gosh. So what a great, beautiful spring morning, at least here in Dallas. I don't know where else you are, but we are grateful that spring is in the air and all new things are coming in. And something really significant is going out. We're kicking this pandemic to the curb. So welcome to CSLDallas, a Center for Spiritual Living, where we are radically inclusive, spiritually progressive, and we're all about transforming lives. We have a great Sunday celebration for everyone this morning. We're grateful that you're joining us, whether this is your first time or your 10,000th time. We're glad that you're here. And I love that song, We Come Together. It's an Eddie Watkins song. And we've got Eddie Watkins in the house for you this morning. Eddie Watkins is a phenomenal Motown artist and New Thought extraordinaire musician. So we're grateful to Eddie for all that he brings to us specifically this morning. So we are going to sit back and enjoy the ride. And let's see, somebody has something to share.
Me! And I'm so excited to talk to you guys about Easter celebration. You guys, it is happening. It is coming. We are so pumped. It is next Sunday, April 4th at 10:30. You guys, the theme is Let Your Spirit Soar, and it is outdoors, and it is on campus at CSLDallas. We're going to be together in person. The Ritual team has the most incredible stuff planned. We have amazing music, the most incredible messages, and kids are invited. So there's no Easter egg hunt, but the kids will actually get to participate in the service with us. No registration is required, but we will be socially distancing with masks and wristbands. So you guys, please come be on the campus with us because we miss you. We want to see you. The event will be professionally live streamed. Now, we are knowing and affirming that there's no rain. There is no rain. It's going to be a beautiful day. But even
there's no rain in the forecast.
There's no rain, but there's no rain. Good. But even if it does rain, don't worry. We have it handled. So emails will go out, but just don't worry about it. Still be there because we're going to rock it out. Now, listen, this is one of many outdoor events that we are planning at CSLDallas. So y'all look out for that. Stay on top of your emails and the text app because all events are coming out through those avenues. Also, so you've asked for it. We've been waiting for it. It's back. Wednesday night, meditation and metaphysics. So starting next Wednesday, April 7th, 7 to 8:15 p.m. online only, we are bringing back Wednesday meditation and metaphysics with Dr. Petra and friends, and we're going to get centered. We're going to go deep. So listen, you've all know about this program and all the incredible talks and all the meditation that Petra and her friends takes us through. It's finally back. So do not miss it. Starting next Wednesday, 7 p.m. online only. It's going to be epic.
Yay. Thank you, Oscar. Okay, so it's not next Wednesday. It's actually April 7th, which I believe is 2 Wednesdays from now, because
Two Wednesdays from now.
We still have to go through Easter, which is the 4th. I know the whole pandemic has changed all of our clocks and time.
This is what happens when you ask an actor to do announcements, because I'm just reading the script.
It's all good. It's all good. All right. So we are constantly looking forward. And as we may have said before, but we're announcing today that May is our next Step Out in Faith program. Our Step Out in Faith program is an opportunity for our community as a whole to do a spiritual journey together and to go deeper together. And so this year's Step Out in Faith is the month of May, spiritually awakening, Raising Consciousness. What's included in the Step Out in Faith program are home study groups. We provide videos and a workbook, and it's a weekly home study group that goes along with the Sunday talks. So the first thing we need are people to sign up as hosts. If you'd like to host a home study group, either on Zoom or masked and or vaccinated in your home, however you decide to designate that, we'd like for you to sign up to host a home study group. You don't have to facilitate, you just have to open the room or open your home, make sure you can play the video, and create a space in which the work study can be done jointly with the group. It's 3 to 10 people. So if you're interested in hosting, if you want your Sangha to be a home study group during this time, please email Rev Patty at CSLDallas.org. Please reach out to Reverend Patty, Rev Patty at CSLDallas.org, and say, I sign up to be a host for a Step Out in Faith home study group in the month of May. And then we'll let you know more about how you sign up for the study groups as we get into April.
Fabulous. I love it. And I have one more super exciting announcement. This Sunday is our last Zoom Sunday. We are back in person, live streamed on Facebook, on YouTube, and on our website. Coming soon, not just yet, but it's coming soon, I promise. So as we begin the coming together, we start with Easter, and then every Sunday after that, we're going to be in the sanctuary. We're going to be in person live again. And what's even more exciting is we are finally starting to reopen our sanctuary. So starting with 30 people by invitation only. So watch out for your invites on email and later via our text app. You must RSVP so that we know how many people are actually going to show up. And due to the flood, Joy Village isn't quite ready to be open yet, so kids will actually get to be a part of our celebration on Sundays. It's going to be awesome. And every month we'll be able to add more and more people. So again, masks and social distancing will still be in play, but we are standing in cheerful expectation that by the fall, we will be completely open and 100% back.
Yes.
All right. Well, I've just noticed that, isn't it great that we all are in the one mind, and Oscar and Petra and myself got the blue memo. We are all wearing blue. And so it just goes to show that what we teach and practice here really does work in our lives. So this is a time where we ask you to be part of the giving and receiving of life itself, or giving and receiving is the same. And this is a time where we ask for your sacred giving to this community, a community that holds the vision for a world that works for everyone and a life that works for each of us. We give spiritual inspiration and more throughout so many venues. And so there are ways that you can give to this community. You can go to our website, CSLDallas.org/donate now. There's a PayPal option if you like that. And text giving. You can set up a text giving through an app, and it's 972-954-4404. Again, 972-954-4404. Secure way to give. And of course on Facebook, and YouTube has a PayPal button as well. So thank you for your generosity. Every single bit of the currency of life makes a huge difference in the life of our community. So now let's enjoy this song by Eddie. Actually, Use Me right here, right now.
Show me
Petra, you're muted.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for Oscar. It's so great we help each other out. So I love that song, Use Me, right? It's a reminder that we do actually have to move in the world, but we want to move in alignment with spiritual truth. So we're closing out our month, moving on up. Moving on up. Oh my God. And we are moving on up here at CSL Dallas as we move back toward being together in our community. I have to admit, I am grateful that this is the last Sunday that I'm going to be sitting in the studio all by myself with Oscar, Ryan, and Karen somewhere else, each all by themselves in their own places on the computer. And then as of Easter, we'll get to be together and that we are moving on up. And so our topic for today to close out this month is manifestation and magic. Manifestation and magic, or the magic and miracles that happen along the way of manifesting. And because we know that as we begin to move on up, there are all kinds of things that come together that rally around to support us. So I want to talk for a minute about, have you seen this new exhibit, this new Van Gogh exhibit that's going to be here in Dallas, right? I cannot wait. You submerge yourself in the paintings of Van Gogh. Well, I have to tell you this story that when I was on my sabbatical in 2013, I spent all these months out in the, I spent these months out in the, I'm getting distracted. Can I ask what's?
It's okay. I was requested.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting distracted. Okay, so I want to tell you about this story and I'll stop being distracted. So I was traveling for 3 months in Europe. And during this time, I kept finding these fabulous places to go. And I would hear about things to do, and I would hear about places to go, and I would try to find them. So I was driving through the southern part of France. I was going from one place where I'd been staying to another. And I heard about this amazing experience that was inside a stone quarry, a giant old stone quarry that they had quarried like 1,000 years ago. They built this big old castle, which was now a ruins, and they had pulled out all of these giant slabs of rocks. And inside was called the Luminaire experience. And it was Van Gogh, Cézanne, and Gauguin's paintings. 70 different projectors, all on the walls, incredible music. And it was the immersive experience of literally walking around inside these paintings. It might be one of the most stunning things I've ever experienced. Now, this quarry was out literally in the middle of nowhere in southern France. It just so happened that the route that I had chosen off any highways, the backside route that I had chosen off any highways, happened to go by very close to where this experience was. And I just decided I was going to follow my nose and I was going to find it. Sure enough, it was, a little bit of, but I found my way to this amazing experience. Actually, it was so astonishing that I stayed through twice. It was literally like walking around inside these paintings. Unbelievable. This is my favorite way to travel. Magic every day. And that was the intention that I'd set for my sabbatical. It was the intention I set for my second sabbatical. It was the intention I set now for every single time that I travel. I expect magic every day. And that magic shows up, right, as the serendipity of somebody happening to tell me about this event, and the synchronicity that I happen to be driving right through that part of southern France. Of all the places in France that I could have been driving, I happened to be driving right by it. And so these, as we are moving on up and manifesting in our lives, we should expect magic. We should expect synchronicity and serendipity. So the word serendipity, I looked it up, is defined, it was coined by an 18th century British writer named Horace Walpole, who defined it as that quality of mind which, through awareness and good fortune, allows one to frequently discover something good while seeking something else. I love this definition. The quality of mind, which through awareness and good fortune allows one to frequently discover something good while seeking something else. Notice that it is a quality of mind. It has to do with our awareness, like our scanning what's going on around us and noticing opportunities, possibilities, interesting things, right, that seem to be popping up in some way. Another definition I saw of serendipity is a fortunate accident, right? How two things accidentally cross and all of a sudden there you are having this amazing experience in a quarry out in the middle of nowhere of southern France. I mean, I was in tears. I cannot wait to go see this Van Gogh experience in Dallas. So serendipity is a word that we tend to love in metaphysics and New Thought, and that we actually start expecting as we are, right? Because our manifestation is inviting us to participate. We do our spiritual work, we set our intention, but then we actually move in the world. Like I actually did drive from place to place on my sabbatical. We actually have to make the phone calls, do the actions, walk through the doors, go to the events. We actually have to participate in our own lives. And we expect serendipity to take place. The other word that I hear people use a lot is the synchronicity of events, right? The way things seem to line up in some synchronistic way that is way beyond what we might have imagined or designed for ourselves. So Dr. Stout, he writes this: Carl Jung coined the term synchronicity in the early 1920s, which I also didn't know. Carl Jung coined the term synchronicity in the early 1920s. It's one of his most complex and misunderstood concepts. Now, there's an interesting idea. Synchronicity seemed very, I don't know, I thought I understood synchronicity. One of his most complex and misunderstood concepts. Now listen to this. This is going to be a lot of multi-syllable words. So we'll take it slow. Partially because it is an experience that forces people to question their notions of what is rational and scientific. Jung's concept of a synchronistic world was a complex intertwining of linear causality, forming a balance with the unseen forces of the universe, each complementing the others in the realms of psyche and matter. In this conception, a playful relationship exists between what is seen and what is unseen. Jung hypothesized that synchronistic events were possibly the manifestations of a specific desire deriving from our need to heal and grow. He also believed they were elements of a universal archetypal pattern that helped connect us to the deeper truths of human existence. Okay, I love this. The complex intertwining of the linear causality, I choose to have that end result, balanced with the unseen energies of the universe, complementing each other. This, I'm going there, that's my manifestation. I'm going to have that experience. I'm going to create that kind of a life. I want to manifest that thing, right? That linear causality intertwined, complementing each other with the unseen forces and energies of the universe, a playful relationship. And I love that idea of a playful relationship, right? That kind of thing that you see out of the corner of your eye, or that little flash of insight that says, oh, I should call that person. Oh, I should go down that street. Oh, I should check that out. Oh, wow, I didn't know that was coming up, right? A playful relationship, so that we're not belaboring, having to force the issue. We're not trying to figure each step out. And synchronicity is this complex relationship between the linear causality and the universal energies. Oh my God, I love that. And certainly that was my experience. Actually, truthfully, that's my experience every time I travel. And it's one of the reasons why I love to travel, because it reminds me that this is how life works. And I have, in the last 10 years, really worked to have my ordinary life. Let me restart that sentence again. For me to engage in my normal, ordinary life in the same way that I engage traveling. I expect magic every day. I expect serendipitous things to show up, and for the synchronicity of events to line up, where I'm like, look at that. Look at that. I could never have figured out the how I was going to get to this particular what. Now, it's interesting. You know me, I like to look up all this stuff in Holmes, right? I love to see what Ernest Holmes has to say about it. How do we talk about this in the science of mind, whether it's Holmes or other writers? How do we think about this from a science of mind point of view? Because I certainly think that these things are very much a part of how we live a spiritual life. So I looked up serendipity, not there. I looked up synchronicity, not there. I looked up coincidences, not there. Those words don't exist in the science of mind writings. And I was like, okay, that's a little strange. Wow, that's pretty interesting, because we all know that this happens. We sense the hand of spirit, the guidance of love. We feel guides or our guardian angels or whatever we want to call it. And we learn to count on it. We learn to count on and expect that we're going to be nudged, that we're going to be guided, that when we run out of gas, an angel's going to come by and help us out. We learn to expect these things. And so I thought, oh, okay. So the last word I looked up, it was miracles. Okay, well, if we can't have serendipity, coincidences, synchronicity, and magic. Oh, and I looked up magic too. If we're not going to have any of those words, well, surely we can have miracles, right? Because we expect miracles in our lives. And of course, in the science of mind, what I found under miracles is we don't believe in miracles. Why? Because we believe that whatever looks miraculous is in fact the outpicturing of the universal laws. We've set an end result, and the universal law must manifest that end result in ways that may appear utterly miraculous to us. They are miraculous. It's miraculous because it's outside of, let me go back to Carl Jung's definition of synchronicity, an experience that forces people to question their notions of what is rational and scientific. That's a pretty good definition of a miracle, right? Doesn't seem rational that cancer should just disappear. It doesn't seem rational that somehow miraculously this prosperity should flourish in the middle of a pandemic, right? It forces us to question our notions of the rational and the scientific. And when we don't think of miracles as somehow the God deciding that we've been good enough to be removed from a situation and plunked into another one, right? We recognize that these miraculous things are the outpicturing of the universal laws, the linear causality of the truth of what we've decided we want to go to, and the unseen forces that all come together to make that happen. So Ernest Holmes says this. Again, it's a little long, so bear with me. We'll take it slow. There is a place in the mentality, in the heights of greatest realization, right? Our greatest realization of not just spiritual truth, but our deepest mental equivalent about a joy-filled life, let's say. There is a place in the mentality, in the heights of a greatest realization, where it throws itself with complete abandonment into the very center of the universe. There is a point in the supreme moment of realization where the individual merges with the universe, but not to the loss of our individuality, where a sense of oneness of all life so enters our being that there is no sense of otherness. It is here that the mentality performs seeming miracles, because there is nothing to hinder the whole from coming through. There's nothing to hinder spiritual truth from manifesting itself. We can do this only by providing the mental equivalence of life, by dwelling and meditating upon the immensity of life and the fact that as vast, as immense, as limitless as it is, the whole of it is brought to the point of our own consciousness. When our consciousness is so aligned and so experiencing the oneness, do you see, we move into the place where we are utterly co-creating seeming miracles, where linear causality merges in a playful relationship with the unseen forces of the universe. And sure enough, seeming miracles do occur. So, when that happens, it's a new day. Over and over and over again, we get to experience it's a new day. And here's Eddie Watkins to sing to us about it.
Every day we're born again to create this world we live in. So now let's claim our good and speak our word and release it to the universe. Right here is where we take a stand. Take compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day. All together hand in hand. We sing our love across the land. Right here we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day. Every day I'm filled with wonder by the glory of the silent thunder unfolding from down under. Satchitananda, oh, right here is where we take a stand. Through compassion for our fellow man. Right now we're making a difference. Oh, it's a new day.
day. It's a new day when we're allowing the universe to support us and unfold in its own way, because we have aligned ourselves and set our intention. Thank you, Eddie Watkins. That is a brand new song, actually, because I haven't heard it before, or at least it's new to me, and I love it. It's a new day. Now, the example that I've given you, right, this and my story and the example that we've been talking about is sort of an unfolding life experience, right? And it's a general kind of idea that as we move in the direction of our dreams, as we are really moving on up in our life in a larger perspective, that we expect to be supported. We expect to have these amazing events happen. But let's talk about in the moment of manifestation, like something really important and critical that we need right in this moment. Not just a whole lifestyle thing, but we need to manifest health or money or something really critical in the moment. So I want to tell you that, so this was a number of years ago. We were having a practitioner retreat, and actually we were having it at a hotel. We had an outside facilitator come in, and we had all the practitioners from DFW and the ministers, and we're having a fabulous retreat. So in the afternoon, I noticed that I was starting to feel a little dizzy, and I had on and off over the years with all the traveling that I've done, have had a little bit of dizziness sometimes when I've realized that I had a little bit of an inner ear infection. It took me a lot of years to find that out. And so I thought, wow, maybe I'm getting a little bit of an inner ear infection again. So I started doing treatment around it and thought, well, if it's not gone by Monday, I'll get it checked out, and no problem. But it was, was very, very low grade. And so not really a problem. So I went to bed that night. I think that was Saturday night. Sunday, we were finishing up. We had all morning, early afternoon, and then we were ready to go home. So I woke up the next morning. I rolled over in bed, getting ready to get out, and my whole world started to spin. It was one of the most disconcerting experiences I've ever had in my life. It was so bad that I began throwing up. And I laid in bed, and just laying in bed, the world was spinning. And every time I tried to get up or move, it was so bad that I would literally throw up. And I tried to get up and use the restroom. I was staggering, and my partner at the time had to hold me up. It was awful. So I went back to bed, and she went downstairs to the prac room and practitioners and said, you have to do treatment. I don't know what's going on with Petra, but she literally can't get out of bed. And so, 30 people started to do treatment. And so, I tried to get up an hour later. I couldn't get up. I tried to get up 2 hours later. I couldn't get up. It was just, I had never experienced anything like it. And so I wasn't able to have lunch. And then it was like, we have to go. This is ending here pretty soon. The idea of getting in the car and driving home, even though it wasn't that far, was terrifying to me because I was so disoriented. So I stayed as still as I could in the bed. I stayed as quiet as I could. And I knew that they did 2 or 3 treatments as a group for me while this was going on. So as it was closing, and we had to get out of our rooms at 11, right? Thing wasn't over till 2. We had to get out of our rooms at 11. So, my previous partner, she packed everything up, and then we had a couple of practitioners come up, and they literally carried me, my arms around each of them. We walked to the elevator, and I was literally staggering. I was so disoriented. I wasn't quite throwing up anymore. That had settled down, but they put me into the elevator, and we needed to go to the room where the practitioners were meeting because we still had a few more hours, and we had to check out. So we were debating, I just say goodbye and get in the car and go home. So in the elevator, a couple people get on. And of course, I'm standing there thinking, these people think I am so freaking hungover. and one person got on the elevator and looked and said, are you okay? Is she okay? And the answer was, well, clearly no. And somebody said, either me or one of the practitioners, I don't even remember, she's having this terrible dizziness. Well, it so happened that the woman who got in the elevator was an extremely accomplished physical therapist. She asked 2 questions and she said, oh, I know what's going on. She said, get out here on this floor. We're going to go right here into my room and I'm going to show you what she needs to do. And they laid me on the bed. You know, some of you might know this. She laid me on the bed. She put my head over the edge of the bed. She said, do this movement. My little eyes went, nee, 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 nee. She said, sure enough, she's got crystals in her inner ear that have touched the balancing hairs in her inner ear. And so you do this movement, you just lay here for a while. You know, the worse it is, the longer you have to lay here with this special movement, whatever it is. And then it'll be fine. It just so happened that she was a physical therapist who knew what to do. I laid there for 10 minutes in this particular posture, you know, with this particular way. You got to put your head hanging over the edge of the bed. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, the room stopped spinning. She said, good, now do it on the other side. Wow, the room isn't spinning at all. She said, great, we're going to take it slow, right? We lay on the bed for a few minutes, now sit up. Wow, I think I still feel a little weak. She said, yes, you had a pretty bad episode. May come back. So you just need to keep doing this until what happens is you literally are dislodging those crystals in your inner ear. They're moving back to wherever they belong, doing whatever it is that they're supposed to be doing. Well, since then, of course, I've looked it up on YouTube. This is a completely recognizable thing. And there's 2 or 3 kinds of movements that, you know, people have created over the years that you can do. What a miracle. What a synchronistic, serendipitous event that while I was in the elevator, it just so happened that a physical therapist who knew about this walked on and was willing to engage and ask and had the time to say, come and let me help you. A miracle. Do you see? Or the outpicturing of all of that treatment that had been done. Thomas Troward, who's one of my favorites, you know that, and I invite everybody to read his books and to take classes that we teach here on Thomas Troward. In his book called The Edinburgh Lectures, he says this: when this, meaning how the universal laws work, when this is properly understood, any anxious thought as to the means to be employed in the accomplishment of our purpose is seen to be quite unnecessary. If the end is already secured, then it follows that all the steps leading to it are also secured. The means will pass into the smaller circle of our own conscious activities day by day in due order. And then we have to work upon them, not with fear, doubt, or feverish excitement, but calmly and joyously, because we know that the end is already secured, and that our reasonable use of such means as present themselves in the desired direction is only one portion of a much larger coordinated movement, those unseen forces that are working, the final result of which admits no doubt. So this is one of the most powerful and commonly quoted things that I quote from Thomas Troward. If the end is already secured, then it follows that all the steps leading to it are also secured, which means that of course, we're going to have serendipitous events. Of course, synchronicity is going to happen. Of course, we're going to have seeming magic, seeming miracles, because that's whatever is needed for us to reach the end result. So this opportunity, right, is the opportunity for us to expect miracles, to expect these things to come together, to know beyond the shadow of a doubt that the universe is in fact rallying around to support us when we are committed to our end result and to allowing the universe to work in conjunction with that. The linear causality working in playful relationship with the unseen forces. So the last story, just to close here, the last story I want to talk about is, of course, you know, we're all excited about opening back up again in April, beginning that slow, steady ramp up into being fully together. Well, we had actually anticipated doing this in March. And in February, we were working towards that announcement. We were getting closer and closer to having all of our ducks in a row. And of course, what happened? Wintergeddon happened. That's what happened. Wintergeddon happened. And even though we had come into the CSLDallas, we turned, you know, we were dripping all the faucets. We had the heat on and everything. We still had a big flood because one of the landlord's pipes burst and flooded 2/3 of our space. So in the process of getting all this together, we've been needing to find a contractor or somebody who can do the contracting work besides just the flooring that needs to be redone and all of that. And so, you know, we've had a couple of avenues that didn't quite work out. A lovely member of our community, unfortunately, the timing just doesn't work out for us. And we just were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? Well, we knew beyond the shadow of a doubt that this is all going to be taken care of. We've had our practitioners treating around it, and we know that it's all coming together beautifully. And so all of a sudden in a conversation with Brianna, I remembered a wonderful contractor that Karen and I had both used to remodel our individual houses. When Karen first got here and she bought a house about the same time I bought a condo, we happened to use the same contractor. Now this contractor was, what shall I say, was managed by another gentleman because the other gentleman spoke much better English, and the contractor, maybe it didn't speak quite so good English, and he and his brothers, they can do everything, electrical, plumbing, doesn't matter, sheetrock, doesn't matter, lay floors, tiling, they're just amazing. They can do everything, but he couldn't really necessarily find the jobs or communicate it. So he had this gentleman who got the jobs, and it was through him that we found Marco. So during our whole remodeling, we then, after Karen and I then got together and we moved back into my condo, we had Marco come in and do some work again. And I think it was the second one. It doesn't matter. Yeah, pretty sure it was the second remodeling of our condo. And I remember Karen at one point going to Marco and saying, you know, you speak good enough English. You don't need somebody to manage you. Really, you speak good enough English. And I remember her saying that to him more than once. And I thought, yeah, that's really true. And so I began communicating with Marco directly. This is what I need, and can we do this and this and this? And it was like, yeah, he was perfectly capable of communicating and telling me what was needed and wanted and how much it cost. And we kept reaffirming for him that he and his brothers were actually perfectly capable of doing this. Great, it's great. He was thankful, did a beautiful job. He did my railing and everything was fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Okay. So fast forward, we're here in the center. We do our expansion. We invite Marco to come in and do some of the work with that. And we had some things we needed to be done. And then all of a sudden, Marco started saying, no, I'm not available, not available, not available. Well, Marco had gone off and gone into business, really gone for it himself. And he's now doing contracting major high-end real estate. Okay, really luxury houses because they're that good. And so he just really, quite frankly, didn't have time for us in our little projects. So the other day, when we were kind of like, we need a contractor, all of a sudden, Marco's name popped into my mind. And I said, you know, he's been saying no to us. He's doing all this high-end stuff. Probably they've all had their pipes burst too. I don't know that he's going to have time. But we could call him. We could ask him. And if he can't do it, maybe he knows somebody that he feels comfortable in letting us, in telling us, saying that, you know, we could use this other person. He answered the phone. He said, I'll be right over. He came over. He looked at everything. He saw the holes in the walls and everything that has to be done and the platform that has to be fixed. And we were standing in the Pankey Hall in the foyer, closing up, you know, saying, okay. And he looked at me and he said to me, he said, I know that you've been, I know that I've had to say no to you a lot. He said, but you need me today. I will take your job. I will do it for you. That was a miracle in that moment. Somebody we really trust and really know can do a good job. And because of all that beautiful ground that had been laid, because of that intention to know that the universe supports us, and because we had supported others, in that moment, that miracle happened. Do you see? So it's not just miracles for us. It's the way in which our miracles begin to support each other, and that we can expect magic in our manifestations. Because when our manifestations is not just lives that work individually, but a world that works for everyone, the magic just grows exponentially. We are all supported by the magic of the universe. So whether Science of Mind uses these words or not, I love using them in my own life. Not to think somehow divine intervention is rewarding me for being good, but to understand that there are unseen forces in the universe that when we marshal them with our spiritual intentionality, they're constantly working for our good and the good of everyone. So let's bring this to a close with Eddie Watkins' beautiful, I want to close with this beautiful quote by Ernest Holmes before we go to Eddie Watkins. So, we shall not think of our purpose as contingent on any condition whatever, but shall know that by forming the idea of it in the absolute and maintaining that idea, we have shaped the first cause into the desired form and can await the result with cheerful expectancy. So we can cheerfully expect that our lives are working and that those lives work for everyone. Here's Eddie Watkins, like a world that works for everyone.
We are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, we're amazing. And we've just begun to feel the power and freedom to be who we came here to be. As we discover each other and celebrate humanity, we are creating a world that works for everyone. Yes, times are changing. It's a love revolution as we are walking together. Love is leading the way. the fields of compassion to a world that works for everyone, to a world that works for as we are walking together, love is leading the way through the fields of compassion to a world that works for
Beautiful. Thank you, Eddie Watkins. And we continue to hold the vision of a world that works for everyone. Absolutely. Thank you, Petra, for that great message. And yeah, so we hold the vision for a world that works for everyone and a life that works for each of us. And here at CSL Dallas, we actually think through how can we offer something for everyone. No matter what stage we're at in this faith, philosophy, way of life. So I'm really happy to say that this afternoon we have something for the newbies, people that are very new to metaphysics or want to understand how to have these serendipitous moments, these things that sort of seem miraculous. And so this afternoon at 1 o'clock, we have a 2-hour class taught by Reverend Patty and practitioner B.B. Gafford. It's called Keys to Spiritual Path. And it is specifically for people that are new to the science of mind. And it's a great class. You'll have a workbook and all that. So you got to sign up now. It's on our website. It's $25 or pay as you want. But I think it's $25. Yes, I think that's what it is today. So we'll see you there.
Fantastic. And then also starting on Tuesday, April 6th, 7 p.m., led by the fabulous, the gorgeous Doreen Breedlove. We have a course that is designed to present the key concepts of the 7 spiritual laws of success by Dr. Deepak Chopra. And so what is this class all about? So basically we are trying to understand our true nature in relationship to these laws, and each class begins with a viewing of a section of the 7 spiritual laws of success, video showing Dr. Chopra discussing and presenting these laws to an audience. You guys, this course is going to be epic. Do not miss it.
Yay. And so again, do not miss next Sunday. It's one of the biggest Sundays of the year. We're really thrilled. An Easter celebration, unlike any Easter celebration that's going on that particular day. Petra, Oscar, myself, we invite you to be here physically outside on the campus or to be online. If you're not going to be outside with us, be here starting at 10:30 till noon Central Time. And right now, you can join our practitioners. There's a link that Ryan putting in on, you can go into a private Zoom room with our practitioners, get prayed up. Like Petra shared this morning, there are so many ways when someone speaks the word for you, it is made manifest. So get your manifestation this morning. And now we are really moving into the yes, yes, yes of life, the good, what wants to spring forth. So here's Eddie Watkins to close us out. We're so grateful you joined us today. Tell a friend about us, CSLDallas.org. Let's sing it out with Eddie.
could be that we agree to live in harmony and set aside all that divides for the sake of humanity, would you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. If it could be that we agree to meet on common ground, plant a tree and spread the fruit of love all around, would you say yes? Yes, yes, yes. Come on, everybody, sing with me. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. If you believe in you and me, sing yes, yes, yes. If you believe like I believe, we can make a better world.